shouldn't we be speaking to the patient before we start diagnosing?
Is she a doctor?
No, but
Everybody lies.
Dr. House doesn't like dealing with patients.
isn't treating patients why we became doctors?
No, treating illnesses is why we became doctors. Treating patients is what makes most doctors miserable.
So you're trying to eliminate the humanity from the practice of medicine?
If we don't talk to them, they can't lie to us. And we can't lie to them. Humanity is overrated. Told you. Can't trust people.
I knew she was allergic to gadolinium. Figured it was an easy way to get someone to cut a hole in her throat.
Can't get a picture. I have to get 1,000 words.
You actually want me to talk to the patient? Get a history?
We need to know if there's some genetic or environmental causes triggering an inflammatory response.
I thought everybody lied.
Truth begins in lies. Think about it.
That doesn't mean anything, does it?
You were sure I had vasculitis, too. Now I can't walk and I'm wearing a diaper. What's this treatment gonna do for me?
I'm not talking about a treatment, I'm talking about a cure. But because I might be wrong, you want to die.
What made you a cripple?
I had an infarction.
A heart attack?
It's what happens when blood flow is obstructed. If it's in the heart, it's a heart attack. If it's in the lungs, it's a pulmonary embolism. If it's in the brain, it's a stroke. I had it in my thigh muscles.
Wasn't there something they could do?
There's plenty they could do. They made the right diagnosis. But the only symptom was pain. Not many people get to experience muscle death.
Did you think you were dying?
I hoped I was dying.
So you hide in your office, refuse to see patients because you don't like the way people look at you. You feel cheated by life, so now you're gonna get even with the world. You want me to fight this? Why? What makes you think I'm so much better than you?
When you're scared, you'll turn into me.
I just want to die with a little dignity.
There's no such thing. Our bodies break down, sometimes when we're 90, sometimes before we're even born, but it always happens and there's never any dignity in it. I don't care if you can walk, see, wipe your own ass. It's always ugly, always. We can live with dignity, we can't die with it.
Why did you hire me?
Does it matter?
Kind of hard to work for a guy who doesn't respect you.
Why?
Is that rhetorical?
No, it just seems that way because you can't think of an answer. Does it make a difference what I think? I'm a jerk. The only thing that matters is what you think. Can you do the job?
You hired a black guy because he had a juvenile record.
No, it wasn't a racial thing. I didn't see a black guy. I just saw a doctor with a juvenile record. I hired Chase because his dad made a phone call. And I hired you because you are extremely pretty.
You hired me to get into my pants?
I can't believe that would shock you. It's also not what I said. No, I hired you because you look good. It's like having a nice piece of art in the lobby.
I was in the top of my class.
But not the top.
I did an internship at the Mayo Clinic.
You were a very good applicant.
But not the best.
Would that upset you? Really? You think that you were hired because of some genetic gift of beauty instead of some genetic gift of intelligence?
I worked very hard to get where I am.
But you didn't have to. People choose the paths that gain them the greatest rewards for the least amount of effort. That's a law of nature, and you defied it. That's why I hired you. You could have married rich, could have been a model. You could have just shown up and people would have given you stuff. Lots of stuff. But you didn't. You worked your stunning little ass off.
Am I supposed to be flattered?
Gorgeous women do not go to medical school unless they're as damaged as they are beautiful. Were you abused by a family member?
No.
Sexually assaulted?
No.
But you are damaged, aren't you?
I have to go.
It means the antibiotics didn't cause the kidney failure. How'd you know?
Well, if you guys hadn't been so busy trying to prove me wrong, you might have checked in on the poor kid.
You visited a patient?
I was sitting by his bed all morning, just so he knows someone was there for him.
I looked in on him. He's much better.
Ergo, the treatment's working. Ergo, me right, you wrong.
Hey, I'm glad for the kid.
That smugness of yours really is an attractive quality.
Thank you. It was either that or get my hair highlighted. Smugness is easier to maintain.
I get that you're not a big believer in the catching flies with honey approach, but do you honestly think you'll collect a jarful by cleverly taunting them?
Flies, no. Doctors, sure. If I'd said to Foreman, nice try, it was a great guess, but sorry, not this time. What do you think he'd be doing right now?
I think he'd be going home not feeling like a piece of crap.
Exactly.
You want him to feel like a piece of crap?
No, I don't want him going home. Girl in the boys' bathroom. Very dramatic. Must be very important what she has to say to me.
Yesterday, your patient's tumor was 5.8 centimeters. Today, it's 4.6. How does that happen?
Well, at a guess, I'd say that Dr. House must be really, really good. Why am I wasting him on hiccups? I washed before and after.
You also requisitioned 20 cc's of ethanol. What patient was that for? Or are you planning a party?
Do me a favor. I was going to say leave, but that works.
You shrunk the tumor.
Only way to get the guy
Fraud.
to do the surgery.
Fraud was the only way. There's a reason that we have these guidelines.
I know. To save lives. Specifically, doctors' lives. And not just their lives, but their lifestyles. Wouldn't want to operate on anyone really sick. They might die and spoil our stats.
Bergen has a right to know what he is operating on.
True. I got all focused on her right to live and forgot you do what you think is right.
Well, that's what breasts look like.
Is a lie if everybody knows it's a lie?
Well, if a tree pretends to fall in a forest. House, come on, they're breasts. They're a birthday present, not a philosophical treatise.
Lie number one. She did not do that for her husband. She did that for herself. She thinks if she looks different, she'll be different.
No, she thinks if she looks different, she'll be more attractive, which I have to say.
Not to her husband. Cosmetic surgery, so everyone else will look at us differently. Same reason you're wearing that.
So you're treating her for African sleeping sickness because you don't think it's possible for someone to be faithful in a relationship?
And you do?
Yes.
And you need to tell me that.
Look, I'm not having an affair. I had lunch with someone I work with, at work, once.
I believe you. What I don't believe is it'll be just once.
I love my wife.
You certainly loved saying it. I'm sorry, I know you love your wife. You loved all your wives. Probably still do. In fact, you probably love all the women you loved who weren't your wife.
You can be a real jerk sometimes, you know that?
Yeah, and you're the good guy.
At least I try.
As long as you're trying to be good, you can do whatever you want.
And as long as you're not trying, you can say whatever you want.
So between us, we can do anything. We can rule the world.
I told the husband he was a jerk.
Why?
When I was in college, I fell in love. I got married. And
At that age, the chances of a marriage lasting...
it lasted 6 months. Thyroid cancer metastasized to his brain. There's nothing they could do. I was 21 and I watched my husband die.
I'm sorry. But that's not the whole story. It's a symptom, not your illness. Thyroid cancer would have been diagnosed at least a year before his death. You knew he was dying when you married him. Possibly when you first met him. And you married him anyway. You can't be that good a person and well-adjusted.
Why?
So you wind up crying over centrifuges.
Or hating people?
Why did you tell Cameron to lie to Mr. Foster?
Make it tight.
Answer me.
Nothing I can say is going to change how you feel. Nothing could come out of your reaction that is going to change what I plan to do, so I prefer to say nothing.
So, that was just you saying nothing?
Uh-huh.
The guy is furious.
And scared.
Well, so what are you gonna do? The father's insisting on the lupus treatment.
Yeah, Cameron told me, and I told her to tell him no.
Well, you can't just sit back and let the kid die.
And neither can the father.
So that's your plan? You're gonna play chicken with the kid's life?
Well, he's the dad. I should win easily.
Take the week off.
What, because I lied to a patient? I take risks. Sometimes patients die. But not taking risks causes more patients to die, so I guess my biggest problem is I've been cursed with the ability to do the math.
I told him that we wouldn't treat him for the lupus until...
What did he say?
He said he wanted to transfer Keith to another hospital.
He's not stable enough. He'd never make it through the door.
That's what I told him.
That's when he caved.
Yeah. He agreed to do it your way.
2 + 2 = 4. Someone got spanked real good this morning.
Guy gives $100 million to cure cancer. Pretty small concession to wear a lab coat.
Cure cancer? Is the hospital getting out of the dull business of treating patients?
You know that's not what he's doing.
I know exactly what he's doing. He's using us to run clinical trials.
Oh, shame on him. Saving lives like that.
It's unethical. Oh, are you coming in too? I thought I had you convinced.
Clinical trials save thousands of lives.
He's using patients as guinea pigs.
Pharmaceutical companies do that every day.
Are we a pharmaceutical company? We're gonna wind up pressuring desperate patients into choices that are bad for them, good for us. We're gonna compromise patient care.
Who the hell am I talking to? Suddenly ethical lapses are a major concern for you?
What's interesting is it suddenly doesn't bother you.
So, if you ignore ethics to save one person, it's admirable, but if you do it to save 1,000, you're a bastard. All he's done is taken your game and gone pro.
He's not gonna kill a few patients. He's gonna kill this hospital.
It took him 3 seconds to size you up. And surprise, he doesn't like you. Wear the damn coat.
Understand how that
You're a
has to-
high-powered bulimic. You make yourself throw up. You have to find the most efficient way to vomit without revealing the telltale signs of bulimia, which is all very unseemly for a CEO. So, you found a common antidote to accidental poisoning to do the job, Ipecac. Which is great if your kids just swallowed a bottle of aspirin, but really, really bad if it's a habit. Causes muscle damage, caused the pain in your leg, and destroyed your heart. How often do you do it?
Three times a week.
In about an hour, there's going to be an emergency meeting of the transplant committee to discuss where you fall on a list should a new heart become available. Problem is, I am required to tell the committee about your bulimia. It's a major psychiatric condition. Ranks right up there with suicidal. Makes you a very bad risk.
So you're here to tell me I have just a few hours to live?
Unless I lie to the committee. But if they find out, I lose my medical license. This would be a very good time to offer me a bribe. You know, how much is your life worth? How much is my job worth?
Why are you here doing this to me? What do you want?
I want to know what's right.
Am I worth it? You think I'm pathetic. Has a good job, everything in the world, but she just doesn't like the way that she
Oh,
looks.
stop hiding! I'm asking you if you want to live or die. You can't even say that.
What do you want me to do? Cry?
Yes! I want you to tell me that your life is important to you, because I don't know. Because that's what's on the table right now. Your life.
Dr. House, I just wanted
You're
to...
welcome again.
I want you to know how much I...
Got it. You're grateful. Apparently, you seem to think it'll mean a lot to me to know that.
Do you know why people pray to God?
I thought you didn't believe in God.
I don't.
Well, then you better be making a very good point.
Do you think they pray to him and praise him because they want him to know how great he is? God already knows that.
Are you comparing me to God? I mean, that's great, but just so you know, I've never made a tree.
I thank you because it means something to me. To be grateful for what I receive.
You are the most naive atheist I've ever met.
Dr. House, you have a patient in room 1.
Thank God. People pray so that God won't crush them like bugs. I'm not gonna crush you.
It's positive. T-cell count is 8, which means there's a good chance you'll die. I'm telling you this because we need to contact your sexual partners.
I've only had 2 girlfriends. 2. After my wife died. I used condoms.
You know the chances of you getting HIV from heterosexual sex with a condom?
Yes.
Someday there will be a black president. Someday there will be a gay president. Maybe there'll even be a gay black president. The one combination I do not see happening is gay, black, and dead. You need to stop lying to me.
It must be miserable. Always assuming the worst in people.
Cut the crap. You're dying.
You're clever, you're witty, and you are a coward. You're scared of taking chances.
I take chances all the time. It's one of my worst qualities.
On people?
Wanting to believe the best about people doesn't make it true.
Being afraid to believe it doesn't make it false.
Well, that's very moving. It's a shame I don't vote.
This is who I am. I believe in people. I'm not hipply cynical, and I don't make easy, snide remarks. I would rather think that people are good and be disappointed once and again.
I need to draw some more blood. Phase right now, but so far, complete remission in more than 30% of subjects.
I told Dr. Foreman I didn't want a C-section.
When your chances of living were less than a third of what they are now.
Well, if the baby is premature, then...
Our pediatrics department has the best neonatal ICU in the state.
No, his lungs, his brain, he's not ready.
Yeah, and he could be fine.
You don't know what it's like raising a sick child.
His odds are much better than yours are. You have to let them at least try this. Talk to her. Okay?
Leave the room. How long have you been taking oxybutylene?
Since I was about 20.
Incontinence is pretty uncommon in a woman of your age. It's even more bizarre in a woman in her 20s.
I guess I haven't had the best luck when it comes to my health.
Seems that way. You said to your husband, you don't know what it's like raising a sick child. You didn't say you don't know what it would be like. This is not your first child, is it? And he doesn't know.
I was 18. I got pregnant, got married. I had the most beautiful little girl, Grace. She had infantile Alexander's disease.
I'm sorry.
2 years we watched her die. My husband was my first husband was a great guy. But after that, I couldn't even look at him without thinking of her. I left him. I left my job. I left everything.
Very moving story. Explains why you're being so selfish.
I'm willing to die to protect my husband.
Because it's what you want. Your husband wants you to live.
Well, he doesn't understand.
Oh, who the hell does? Tragedies happen. You think that turning yourself into a disposable incubator for a few weeks is going to protect your baby from all the crap in this world? Go ahead, die happy. I got no problem with people killing themselves, but don't think it makes you a hero. Scheduled for 4 p.m.
Thank you for coming by. That's our Hitler.
No way.
Are you kidding? Her background's perfect. She's smart. She can obviously deal with your insanity.
You see her shoes?
Her shoes? What, did your horoscope in Vogue tell you to avoid women wearing green shoes?
The eyes can mislead, a smile can lie, but the shoes always tell the truth.
They were Prada. Means she has good taste.
They were not Prada. You wouldn't know Prada if one stepped on your scrotum.
Okay, well, they were nice, pointy.
Exactly. They were stylish and very painful to wear. Only an incredibly shallow, insecure woman would rather be in pain all day long than wear a decent-looking, comfortable shoe, and that's exactly the type I don't need around here.
No, someone who can handle a lot of pain is exactly the type you do need.
I'm calling a lawyer.
Fine. Just as soon as you've signed the surgery consent. I have a pen.
Marilyn Park for Mark Lerner. Yes, I'll hold.
Harvey's your son. I'm sure you still care about him.
He humiliated us. Everybody we know knows about his perversion.
But you don't get off on embarrassment the way your son does. I guess maybe it skips a generation.
How much money would it take to compensate you?
Yeah, you guys can haggle in a minute. But here's the thing. Humiliation comes in all kinds of packages. People finding out that your son's a perv, that's pretty high up there. People finding out that you'd rather let your son die than sign a piece of paper. Where's that rank? And trust me, if I have to paste up a sign in every nail salon and dumpling shop in Pennsylvania, I'll make sure they know. Your son will be at surgery first thing in the morning. Dumplings. It was a cheap shot.
I have one evening with you, one chance. And I don't want to waste it talking about what wines you like or what movies you hate. I want to know how you feel about me.
You live under the delusion that you can fix everything that isn't perfect. It's why you married a man who's dying of cancer. You don't love, you need. And now that your husband is dead, you're looking for your new charity case. That's why you're going out with me. I'm twice your age. I'm not great looking. I'm not charming. I'm not even nice. What I am is what you need. I'm damaged. Who gives the guy the other antivenom? who goes looking for the snake?
I assume that one choice kills him, the other one saves him.
That's usually the way it works at the leg turning black stage.
So half of us killed him, and half of us saved his life.
Yeah.
We can't be blamed.
I'm sure this goes against everything you've been taught, but right and wrong do exist. Just because you don't know what the right answer is, maybe there's even no way you could know what the right answer is, doesn't make your answer right or even okay. It's much simpler than that. It's just plain wrong.
Wait. The guy's dying and all he cares about is his dog?
Any of you guys go the dog route in your improv sessions? It's a basic truth of the human condition that everybody lies. The only variable is about what. The great thing about telling someone they're dying is that it tends to focus their priorities, find out what matters to them, what they're willing to die for, they're willing to lie for.
But you said the guy needed the MRI.
Because Dr. Cameron back there said muscle death. Not one of you said it. Not one of this guy's doctors said it. They gave him bed rest and antibiotics, just like you guys would have.
Did he get better?
No.
How long?
3 days. It is in the nature of medicine that you are going to screw up. You are going to kill someone. If you can't handle that reality, pick another profession. Or finish medical school and teach. The patient made the right choice. Tell a surgeon that it's okay to cut a leg off, and he's going to spend the night polishing his good hacksaw.
Right, surgeons could care less about saving limbs.
Of course they care about their patients. They just care about themselves more. Which is not an unreasonable position. Trying to maximize the tissue you save also maximizes the chances of something going wrong. Which means you got to be extra careful. Which is such a pain in the ass.
Do you think he was dead? Do you think those experiences were real?
Define real. They were real experiences. What they meant. Personally, I choose to believe that the white light people sometimes see, visions this patient saw, they're all just chemical reactions that take place while the brain shuts down.
You choose to believe that?
There's no conclusive science. My choice has no practical relevance to my life. I choose the outcome I find more comforting.
You find it more comforting to believe that this is it?
I find it more comforting to believe that this isn't simply a test.
The middle ground you were talking about?
We go in, take out the dead muscle. There's still some risk of reperfusion injury, but...
Give me the forms you need signed.
You're saving his life.
He won't see it that way.
Because of the extent of the muscle removed, the utility of the patient's leg was severely compromised. Because of the time delay in making the diagnosis, the patient continues to experience chronic pain.
She had no right to do that.
She had the proxy.
She knew he didn't want the surgery.
She saved his life.
Well, we don't know that. Maybe he would have been fine.
It doesn't matter. It's the patient's call.
The patient's an idiot.
They usually are.
So what do we do?
We wait.
For what?
Something to change. It's one of the great tragedies of life. Something always changes.